Hello London folks, welcome back. This is Gnomes, and this is another weekday of Sci-Verse, which is the world building thing, and I'm making the original character Aisha, and this was the mouth rigging thing that we're almost finished. We'll make some shape keys today, and also I have a list of tasks here, so all this not gonna do online in principle, do offline. Yes, the eyelashes, maybe some retakes on the yeah, some refinements on the eyelids. Yeah, something I might have to, but not here anyway. So let's just retakes on eyes rigging. Yeah, eye setup. There's more wave painting stuff and deforms. Yeah, usually automation. So we're not gonna do this in this live stream. Let's get the soundtrack. Where's the here? All right, so feel free to comment, and we're gonna process those informations. So this is Blender 4.3.0, which is new. And oh, by the way, let's go on something. I have made some progress, although it's not concluded yet, but yeah, I've made some progress in the although it doesn't seem to be, yeah, this is not responding, let's see. But this version on the grease pencil thing. So basically this is like, you see that now there's no mouth here. So my intent here is to use geometry nodes. I want to make this as a single object, and now that we can use geometry nodes on a grease pencil dot here in the outliner. Yes, so here the grease pencil object, you see here, this has in the modifiers tab, it has got geometry nodes. So click here. There's a specialty of Blender 4.3, the greatest new. I don't even have enough understanding to say how important, maybe even revolutionary that is. Because if you are used to drawing, maybe you don't do the geometry nodes, but if you are an artist, if you are two artists, or one that draws, the other that know how to use geometry nodes creatively, well, you can probably draw an entire world out of this combination of features, because then the artist draws geometry the artist draws lots of stuff, right, very freely, and then they combine them. They decide what the geometry nodes will do to the strokes, to the points, to the grease pencil, right? And that can do, I don't even visualize properly how powerful, how far that can, what does that really mean. So it's not even clear for me. Anyways, what it is clear for me and was already. So this is what helps learning how Blender works, the Blender logic, and also the no, there's some, what is this, never use those crystal ball. Okay, so sorry about this, just never saw these things. They are new, right? Not like, I don't know if you can use them or it's just me because I'm the owner, but yeah. Yeah, those some funny expressive emojis or something like that. Anyways, so here let's go in the geometry things here, geometry nodes workspace. So I have improved this stuff. Oh, by the way, let me test something quick here. I've just had I was trying to figure out if we can zero out the scale of some points so that it will become like no stroke at all, like to negate the stroke, like making apparently that doesn't work. Might not be sufficient. Yeah, it doesn't seem to work. Anyways, if I go here and edit mode, let's undo this thing. So just must be 1 by 1 stroke. I don't know. So I've remade the mirror modifier here. So I'm just gonna show you the grease pencil thing here. What I've was able to achieve, not too much, but already some improvement in the nodes. I'm probably very close to some feasible solution. Okay, so the grease, the wave painting is strange still for the. No, this chat seems to. How do I close this? Anyways, this seems to be a lifesaver because now this thing is. Those are YouTube sticks. So by opening this chat, now I can see the chat better now. Yeah. So the chat is here, so I think I'll no more miss. Or maybe they change it on my demand. Curious to see that, folks. I don't know what I did, but it seems. Yeah, so will the chat appear here or here? Let's go. This has been bothering me for years since I started streaming. Years, just 1 year or so. So here, too loud. Let's get. Okay, so here what happens is the following, folks. So Shift Control, if you know Node Wrangle add-on or extension, sorry. Control Shift will show the viewer. Control and now Shift Alt will show directly will connect it to the end, which is not super good. So let's do Control Shift Alt here, and so just change the view mode here. So it's the Control Shift. Yes, Control Shift. So this can be confusing. Seems that nothing is really happening. I think the geometry node is disabled. Yeah. Okay, so start here with the grease pencil. It doesn't have wave painting, but I think this is a. What happened to these bones? Why it is like that? It's like they are not reset. It's like they are some strange response. Oh, I have more bones there, of course. Might be posed randomly. So okay, let's clear this so we can have a better understanding of what we do here. Yeah, so this is not a mistake, it's just that I need to change this this theme here. So I'm gonna use this yeah, whatever, use this we're going to use this this color here. Yeah. So now you see what's selected. These are deformed bones for the lips. There's no more lips, right? So they are on the body. So this is just the wave painting. Grease pencil, yes, is this. Let's try to. Oh, I'm still experiencing the wave painting thing. Is like it's not parented. So this is eternally annoying thing. It's like the. Okay, let's pick this thing. Seriously, this might be a bug, I don't know, but I need to just make a quick test here. So let's delete these vertex groups. Let's just add some vertex group here. And it doesn't deform, so it's very super weird. So this is preventing me to make any. I cannot accept this, but okay, if I can't find the, might be some inconsistency with the geometry node. So if I save here, I'm going to delete the geometry nodes. No. So let's, okay, it's delete. Let's turn off this, delete this. Let's clear the parenting. We see it is there. Okay, so I want it to parent the grease pencil to the, okay, with empty groups. So the grease pencil is a grease pencil, nothing special. Let's delete all these things, just, yeah, only the mirror modifier, and then vertex groups. Yes, then if I go here, there is this despite the reparenting, but I cannot understand, because this would be absurd if it is broken. Maybe it's just this file that some broken transition, right? So let's make a new file here. Oh, actually, yeah, Aisha lips. I need to bring this. Let's make a new one here. Let's add a grease pencil stroke. Let's bring this forward, like here. Then I want to, we'll be back soon in the file, folks. So here I'm gonna bring the the want an armature too, so let's bring this thing about here and parent it to here with armature deform, and then let's yeah, it's a, let's assume this will be a deformed bone. It can't be the downgraded grease pencil in the process. That will be absurd. Will be fixed very soon, because everyone will notice something is. Alright, so we have here, we need to assess the grease pencil. Unless I'm forgetting something completely ridiculous, which I think. is this a deformed bone? Yes, it is, and I should be able to wave paint mode. Yes, I cannot pose the bone, but it deforms. So you see, there's nothing special except that. So might be some glitch because of some bug, because of inconsistencies right in the files, because my file wasn't. So that kind of stuff can happen. Yeah, maybe the grease pencil, there was a grease pencil created on the, it wasn't updated. So a panacea of junk that might have occurred on that file. So you see that it was working. Let's see if we can swap the bones. There seemed to be some problem with bone selection in grease. I cannot change the bone, right? So, and I cannot, my blender crashed. Okay, so the grease pencil is still not very. Yeah, so the wave painting of grease pencil is still very bad, and it happened to be even worse now. But anyways, I'll show you what we can achieve with the grease, the nodes at least. Okay, so we'll ignore the armature stuff. We're just gonna focus on, since it doesn't seem to be working here. So what I want to show is that we have the view here. Alright. Then, okay, grease pencil to curves. Then the grease pencil object becomes a curve object. And for some reason we don't see anything, but that then it duplicates elements. It becomes double. Oh wait, this is not the file that I made improvement to. Yes, here I'm still trying to feel. This is not the right file, folks. Sorry, my bad. I have a new one here. It is this one. Yeah, so this is the other one. So here I think I have no bones, so no problem here with that. So you got start here. So you have this grease pencil, a stroke. Then that stroke becomes a grease pencil to curve. Then this becomes curve to mesh. I think we can jump straight, we don't need this one. So, but just to keep organized, to have some thing that makes more sense. So here, then extrude mesh, and so here we got some mesh extrusion, the way sort of lateral extrusion, can be outward or inward. So for the lips, I think, yeah, some sort of mouth contour, because this, yeah, so probably here, but this is the problem. I would like to fill that hole. I don't know if I can do that. So this is another thing. This, but okay, this extrusion already helps in some ways. So let's say like that. Then we go another extrusion, which is, I think it was a positive value. Okay, then it goes and another extrusion back to the back side. So here. And then it individual is bad, so you don't need that. And then we join geometry. By joining the geometry, you get the filled box there, which might be adequate because of the boolean that will probably want to create a hole in the other object. I'm not sure if that's the best solution, but anyways. Then you merge by distance, because these join mesh, they have duplicated mesh vertices, as I've learned. So apparently this will merge by distance and stuff there. Then we flip face, because if you check here what's going on, because of the way it extruded, we got some inverse. So I had some, still there might be a better easier setup here, but this is working. So I flip these faces based on the top, whichever top of the second extrusion node, extrude mesh node, and then we got another flip faces, but based on the side of the second extrusion node. So these are select. This is called the selection, because this is the procedural ongoing stuff, the active ongoing stuff for the geometry node. This is super confusing, right? If you the way it is spelled, right, and the way with the selection, right, it's misleading, because what selection? I have nothing selected. Then you go, oh, there my selection is nowhere, right? So this is we need to understand the concept, right, basically, and what it is, how it works, the logic and the concepts. But yeah, I'd say this is like these guys are not doing this for the, they are doing this for some for some developer mindset, not for exactly something. It's like, I think it's just lack of creativity here. They just, oh, this is easier, this is will make, like, they're not really caring too much, at least on this moment, in how the user friendly of this stuff, right? Because when you look at all this to start with, of course there's some logic, but it's like, okay, we can see their extrusion, everything, so, but there are many other things that is just too strange. So if I were asked to do this task, I'm not a developer or a programmer, but if I were asked to do this kind of stuff, I would use my vision of readability to combine with the development needs, and then I will because of course we need to make stuff do, but then how it will be presented to the end user, how this will be constructed. So maybe in the end it will be, if I were ever able to do anything like that. All I mean is that this is not something that is coming like by default is like that. There are choices here, and those are, so the why Blender has a different UI than many other yeah, so these are all not just technical choices, creative choice, inventive choices. So some choices are more user friendly, some choices are not very good user friendly. So I think geometry nodes is okay. It's like, yeah, it is not too hard, but it's really hard to get into. I think the tutorials that I've seen, most of them, people that dare to make tutorial about that, right? So it's always, the tutorials are super boring for me at least. So I want to do other stuff, right? So I think we are in a severe condition here, but at least it is growing. We can okay, let's continue here. So here I merge the geometry distance. What's that? Sorry folks, got lost in my thought here. So flip faces, yes. So it's not over here. Flip faces, I think one of these are muted. Yeah, this one is muted because it's not necessary. So join geometry. So this is where comes the boolean actually, and I think this part I haven't finished, but you see it works. It is working for where it is cutting, right? and if I transform this into a wire, no, I haven't finished the boolean part, so I was pretty confused about the how I did that before, and I totally forgot what is the right way to do it. So basically you have the cube, which brings as a, yeah, in this case is a real cube mesh object, the scene. Then it is a mesh 1, then we cut we cut the flip faces here, this stuff. Yeah, so there's some interaction here, the difference, and you see that it is doing something, or maybe not. Yeah, so maybe something here is missing. Probably I'm doing something wrong here that I maybe the procedural thing is failing, or maybe it needs to be exact. So this, we see that something is happening there to the cube, but for some reason when I hide the object it stops working. Like maybe it should be the inverse. I've tried but it didn't. Then we rejoin the geometry, and then we maybe merge by distance, and then we get the final result, which should be, ideally, we have the ellipse there. Of course, then I need to have, this is just the cutter, because actually what I need to include here is I want the grease pencil to continue to exist. So this is like the duplicate thing here, which I did before. So duplicate elements, maybe this is it, right? Let's see. So here we have two wrong button. Very easy to get the wrong here. So I want to just check this one. Apparently, oh, I'm not looking in the right direction. So here I have this. So this is the original. Okay, this is not a ellipse like, but this is the geometry node. No, this is the, sorry, this is the, again I made the mistake. So okay, so this is the view of the original. Then duplicate element, points, splines, yeah, duplicate the spline, amount of duplications 1. I don't know why this, let's delete this view thing. Okay, so we have now two splines, I think, but they are sharing the same space. I would need to make, is that required? I think this is not required. Then how to duplicate index. I think I was able to. Then we have to bring this to the, yeah, could join geometry there, but the geometry join object is not join. I need to like a different output, but I think it's the same thing. So let's do join again just in case, and let's try to get this one. Yeah, because if this duplicates the element, generate an arbitrary number of copies of each selected input element. Yeah, but how do the ints of the duplicate for? Yeah, I need to let's say change set position. Still the same, right? So I need to identify the original one. I just don't know how, if this is the correct thing. Okay, so this is something to be researched. There's some, maybe some index here, don't know. Yeah. So anyways, it's gonna be sort of fun if we know how to handle these basic fundamental steps. Like anyways, that should be something about that, right? So then the idea is to bring back the grease pencil and to kind of join geometry or combine. I think, is there any different join strings? What is, no, this is something else. Yeah, it's just combine matrix, combine transform. No, so union. Unify. No, so I don't know if we can bring multiple outputs, right? So this, could it be something like that? I don't even know if this is possible. Two group outputs here. I'm missing here some way to, but I've used this apparently a bit more successfully in my other, in this other one. Duplicate elements. I did nothing special. Curve to mesh, curve to, yeah, then I just rejoin. So it's basically, oh yes, indeed, they are just separated like that. So it's like, it's bizarre, but okay, let's, I thought there would be a better, there should be. So if I get here and, oh no, that didn't work, because if that worked, this position would have worked differently. But anyways, let's try here, and with this I'm going to make a curve to mesh. So this brings the grease pencil to be, yeah, grease pencil to curve, curve to mesh, and of course this is affecting nothing. Okay, let's bring this here. We see that this is not working. It's like, it's either one output. Oh, there's can only be one. No, the two outputs are working. Nothing happens though to this. What if I, it's not a question of selection, but it's a question of visualization. So I don't really understand why, what's really happening. So if I just try to join this. Let's see what happens. Curve to mesh. No, this was transformer mesh. This will not gonna change anything. Gonna just bring this one to join jobbing. Ah, there we go. So it is there, but I want to mask. Okay, so this works. So the original or a duplicate of it is still there. So I want to mask this mesh here, because if I hide it, the other also gets hidden. So I think we can do this mask modifier. No, hide, subdivide, visibility, view, show. No, so apparently there's no mask for that. Okay, so this is pretty sad. There should be a way to mask stuff from this, right? Why they don't have a masking in geometry nodes? This is very important. I think I've seen this somewhere, so I believe this exists. So let's just check here real quick. How to mask geometry nodes. Now too long. A mask for geometry nodes, no. How to hide in geometry nodes? Hide elements, animation with object visibility. No, it's not exactly object, it's mesh visibility. Show hide geometry while animate. Ah, that's it. Aha. Hold on, I just... Alright, so I have here some... delete geometry? No, but I don't want to delete... Oh, it can be deleted after some operation. That might be like after a boolean delete greater than. Okay, so is that a way to hide? So that could work for me, because if it's procedural, it goes after. Yeah, that should work. We got a math node that can, this is about for the amount of vertices, right? This selection, which is not really good for organic, because we can't really have a manipulation of that. It's very indirect, very difficult to be precise. Alright, then we have... Okay, I'll note this for that. Let's see if there's anything else. Alright, no, the rest is keyframing. Alright, so basically delete what? Delete geometry. So that seems to be, I think that will work. So delete geometry after it was done, right? So don't even need this merge by this parameter. Delete geometry, and there we go. So maybe it will preserve the cuts. Boolean, I'm not sure. So let's see. Now, unfortunately, this will break the retroactively what comes before. This is nonsensical to me. This is like it should have. No, actually, yeah, it makes sense, because in the end we did all that, but then we delete, and so it whatever was done before is negated by this. So then what's the point if it's retroactive like that? So I don't know, folks. Yeah, because maybe we can affect just certain selections. Oh yes, because we can affect certain selections. So maybe I could get something like intersecting edges, like oh yes, like no, it's not. It's just the intersecting edge is not good selection. So yeah, so I'll have probably better things to do here. Delete the whole spline. No, this because there's no spline here. It's a mesh, right? So instances. And layer. Yeah. So here would be a lot of things to explore. So let's just leave this and so we can play more of that later. So okay, so this is still work in progress. Need to make some breakthrough there. When I can achieve, then that will mean that we can change this whole melt rig and even eyes rig to some fancy grease pencil, and that will be I'll probably try to rig other characters using this other method. Okay, so now we're ready to start out making new yeah, continuing here our rig. Let's get into that. So let's see what we need here. I need to cover from this adventure in the grease pencil and the geometry nodes things. So retake signs. Okay, this is for it. So fix eyelash. So we did. So today we're going to make a few more, maybe the SED with the keys. We'll try to do those simple ones, and the deltas maybe I do one or not, and then I don't know if we'll need more deltas. So we're gonna make some simple shape keys here for the melt expressions. Maybe we'll end up updating these drivers for the melt shape keys. Yeah, this is simple, and then maybe we can try to start having some fun with shaping some. Yeah, and maybe this is the goal today. Let's reach something here to see if we can reach some, because all there is to the melt rig now is just shape keys, and it's probably we can make good poses without even having all them completed. Then I don't think today, because I started very late tonight, but the stream, but that would be nice if I could reach some body retakes here. It's minor stuff until it reach, of course, the thigh rig. I leave this after some first retake actually of, because there will be a second retake later, because after I complete because this is still body rigging, so after I got this thing done, probably I'll have to make a second retake. This is first retake for the clots, is just for getting better results from now. Alright, so let's make the SED expression and get some finally starting with. So let's get, but I really wish I could solve that, or I had a solution if someone come up with a solution, if someone came already with a solution for this Boolean thing. I have no idea of anything like that. I know some tutorials, but they are not exactly what I'm doing. They are close to it, but they don't give the solution for what I'm trying to do. So this is why this is experimental, takes some time, but eventually, if the system is not bugged or if my calculations are correct, then it should be very feasible in the simplification way that I want, because I don't need to create those geometry nodes. I can actually just use the grease pencil and make an extra mesh object that will try to, as best as it can, to, like, I mean, I can even have a curve, a grease pencil that becomes a curve that becomes mesh, so a separated thing instead of trying to do all into a single object, right? Grease pencil object, which I think would be more organized, or at least more interesting to stack stuff in the same. So you see how cool the expressions are getting. There's some problems there, but okay, let's go for the shape keys panel here. Yeah, actually, let's get some timer here. So I want to get some shape keys done until with this 50 minutes here. So I don't need, just need here the armature. I don't need this edit mode to be able to work. The shrink wraps won't really work. Why do I have this? Oh, okay, because this is for different vertex group, of course, but the target is the same. After my update, yes, plenty of updates that I was doing for this. Yes, exactly. I remember that was somewhat messy because. All right, let's get here. So I need, just to remember here, folks, maybe you haven't followed this or maybe you're new. So here I have these driven shape keys there already, and this is the shape keys mount. Yeah, shape keys master shapes. Yeah, we can SK for shape master shape key mount. So this is the bones which controls those drivers. So you have the O shape, we have the tall, the wide, the purse, which is the like that, the O shape we already showed. Then we have the happy and the sad. The sad is broken because when I've made it all the time. The problem is that when I've modeled all of these shape keys, I've made them, yeah, I've literally modeled them and sculpted, or modeled more likely, most of them. I didn't have this anatomic shape key here, which is the constant shape key. So then when I placed that, then it added on top of this and the results were broken. So this works like certain object modifiers. If you're using them, like the armature modifier, if the rest pose is different from the rest position on edit mode for the mesh, if some bones have some, then if we don't do this, then what happens is that if we try to model the shape key just as this, if we want this to exist on top of this, we need to have this on. We need to have these on for certain cases. And so this can be extremely complicated because you need to be always aware of those on cage edit mode options while dealing with the shape keys. And so my case here is much simpler now because I don't have those kind of mad things happening in the rig. Well, there are some tiny changes, of course, on the mesh from rest position to the rest pose, but it's very little stuff, so doesn't need to, it doesn't interfere. But this one, this special shape key, this is the basis mesh for the lips. So this is the for the universal sonic melt rig. You have very regular geometry for the lips, so they can have, without even using shape keys, with just the posing here, we can have wild amount of expressions. Something is broken about the automation of the upper arcade. I need to verify that. Yeah, I've made some retakes in the arcade, so maybe something broke there. This usually doesn't have, maybe there's some, hold on, maybe it's just some, no, this, yeah, maybe those need maybe the shrink wrap needs some retakes after the reposition I've made. I'm not sure, but so this is another problem for just a retake here that will be necessary that I won't do now. So for now we go back to the shape keys. Let's start this at once. So I need the SAD, it is not at 1 here. I need to bring the bones, yes, just the click the armature, mouth bones here. So I just need to be looking at this one for now, and this is the, so this current, so this is very simple. I can even make a highlight about that. No, it will be too long, right? So never mind, we already have enough data information on that. So here I'm gonna, yes, push this to the maximum, and so because it is here, let's get the set here. So I need to retake this mesh here on top of this. So you see, without it I will have it, but if I model on or sculpt this and then I add this, I will not have, probably I'll lose the, this will overlap and sort of, not overlap, it will be added to the thing. So in the end this will be my end result, which will be terrible. So this is why I need to not have this turned off, I need to have it maximized, and the other ones, so this will be retaken from this state. So it's a 1, maximum is 90 degrees rotation for the bone, but we see that the value is 1, so it's what matters. So I have to unlock here the set, and so now it's the sculptural artwork of making a good sad expression. And the idea here is not that I want this shape key to be like the perfect specific sad shape that I want, even if it is symmetrical here. So this is a little problem, so maybe I'll have to retake that later. The shape keys don't have they don't have support for the mirror modifier, right? So we need to, if I ever wanted to use this just for one side, I have to probably, yeah, you know, I have to get rid of the mirror modifier, which is something that I hate the idea, because for me I just can't rig without the mirror modifier. It's just too complicated. I've got too used to it, but for shape keys is just too annoying. Alright, so the idea here is actually, let's fix this. Let's use a vertex group here. mouth work. Just have to visualize this. We are also going to hide the hair, the cloth, the mouth stuff, the eye stuff, and that's all we need now to be working on. Okay, so you see, I just need to fix these vertices, this mesh, and the anatomic is here. So this I need to sort of it's like I'm retaking the anatomic lips, but for a sad pose. I wouldn't have to retake if I didn't make this brutal, barbaric logical mistake. Right? If I realized that, but I never did that before. I haven't, so that's why I wasn't aware of. I didn't have the awareness of this. If I have had more experience with shape keys and all the possibilities that usually happen when dealing with shape keys, then maybe I could have foreseen that problem, right? Was not the case, so I have to. So here, this bone is not moving very well, so GG. Okay, so I want the volume here of the lips to be more. So the sad shape, we can play a little more with the top lip, so we can exaggerate, right? With shape keys, it is the opportunity to get a bit more creative about certain shapes. This mesh here is really distorted, so try to bring them as a group. This is okay, just to make sure I'm not moving something very wildly. Let's expand. No, this is a bad idea. Yeah, there's too much. It's too much messy there, so let's just move with proportional posing, like here. A large group of this. So just as the happy face, I want to exaggerate a lot. So this exaggeration makes the more this mesh here is rotated, the more difficult it is to shape it, to maintain the organization of the mesh. However, at least that's what it tends to be, right? Spontaneously, right? But the more I do this, the least effort the deform rig of the mouth, of the lips, will have to achieve in order to obtain the expression that I want. So this is why this is very important, that I really try to push this to a very exaggerated rotation here inwards even. It doesn't need to be inward. This task can be achieved if I want with the armature armature deform in combination with this one, but I really need to push here the limits of this stuff. so it doesn't, the shape key itself doesn't need to hold a great expression of its own for this rig. I just want the shape key to collaborate with the expressions, to provide the shapes that are most likely impossible to achieve smoothly to achieve in a smooth way with the armature deform. With armature deform, there are stuff here that would need, that the only way would be to have a lot of bones and even some corrective bones. So that will be like a hellish thing to do in mouth rigging, in lips rigging. I have never tried, and I don't even think I want to try because it should be very frustrating. Maybe I'm wrong. I think it might worth an experiment someday. It just doesn't, yeah, just never occurred me to try this. It's because it seems so radical. Right? Helper bones for lips. Wow, that is crazy idea, right? Like because the lips, where is the joints for the lips? It's a bit hard to tell, right? They are everywhere, maybe, right? Maybe this is a joint region, then this is yeah, the corner maybe is a joint region, but for the corner I've made a top and bottom corner lips. They stack together, so but this is cannot be considered really corrective bone. It's just a way to get a little more control on that region, which is very problematic, can be very problematic. Alright, let's see how this is going. Well, I've just sort of disrupted my expression, the sad expression that I had, but at least I fixed the madness on there, so reshaping this shouldn't be too hard now. And here, yeah, we can push these parts down. That is a little of problem because I don't have the shrink wrap, the bones to help me. The shrink wrap, I want to report this, maybe it's a bug. The shrink wrap doesn't work while editing the shape key, so I cannot use the modifier to help me shape this thing. Like I would like to be targeting, snapping onto the muzzle ghost, so I could keep the sort of the original shapes of the face, which I am freely distorting here, which is not horrible because actually this mesh will re-shrink wrap anyways, but you got the idea, right? It is what we don't see can really become a mess very easily, even it will go back to its place, but it's something crazy, right? So it's not very, I think this can have bad consequence for the rig, so I'll try to avoid as much as displacement here as possible, respecting the geometry of the face and of the muzzle ghost which is behind. But of course we can actually use the and I have a problem here with the shapes because the shrink wrap will not allow me to pose the mesh, even if I pose it anyhow, back and forth in the y-axis world. I mean, it will re-shrink wrap, so only some vertices here, the lips don't have this restraint, but the mouth here, this region has, so maybe these vertices, they are partially free. If we check here, transform, there is the item, modifier, shrink wrap, muzzle, this has, you see, 0.3, So this means that the shrink wrap is not so strong for these vertices on this edge loop, edge ring. But and here they are, they still exist. Yeah, they are much stronger, but still not one. And this I think is already one. Better to see this on. No, it's not one. Okay, so this mesh. So this is a way, yeah, you can actually, this is good because since it's not one, I can probably have some extra influence here if I want to pull or push these meshes for certain anatomic shapes, for some expressions achieved by shape keys, but from bones as well. So it's not as stiff, so that can be interesting. But in practice, I don't know how good is this. Maybe it's bad. What I know is that the lips, at least, they have more freedom, and that I know that this works for the lips is good. Okay, so here, turn off this. We're gonna having a problem here with this lips, top lip. Gonna save here. Probably can smooth these two. Okay, so this is already working as a regular set face, but it can be improved. So we're gonna keep pushing some shapes here. GG, maybe we can, let's get some small proportional editing here. Here I see there are a lot of I see a vertex there. Yeah, this was hidden. Maybe we can push this. Yeah, I need to exaggerate a little more these ones. We can improve this expression, exaggerate it. There's still some space for exaggeration here. And the armature deform will, the skinning algorithm, yeah, the armature deform posing system with bones, with deformed bones, they will thank us if we make these exaggerations at the state of the stage of shape keys making. So I'm doing this on not with sculpting here, because I just feel like that no, this is a bit too complicated. Let's get this into, but I still intend to use the sculpt mode for some more some tweaks, generic tweaks. And here there's some gap here, which is not, I think it's not good. So try to, I don't know why this is happening. It's just something about Here it's clear why this is happening. So the joints here are not very good, right? So I need to this is not working. Let's try to push this to the side here. Here maybe if I can use some scaling strategy, scale this down, yeah, maybe that will work. GG, no, this is GG. So here's, this part is really starting to get a bit messy. Let's try to get a curvy thing here. Let's follow the pattern. But as it reaches for the lip corner, we need to probably try to collapse this a little. Yeah, then the bottom has a completely different structure for these ones, so maybe we need to exaggerate a little these faces. GG. Let's smooth this. Okay, this seems to be starting to work. Here I'll favoritize the... No, I'll try to approximate both, so it doesn't really matter. Try to get some balancing. And here maybe rotate this a little. I didn't pick the right one. I'll just do some proportional posing here, proportional editing. Still not good, so just pick this one and then this one. Smooth this a little. Yeah, let's just smooth everything. Something really bad is happening on this one, so maybe I need to GG this. I have trouble here with the GG. So this is very annoying in shape keys sometimes. Usually it also happens on when you have some editing, specific editing on the with the object modifiers can happen. So this seems to be good, right? Interesting, a bit random. Let's make some more appealing shapes here. Try to make it a little more organic. Maybe we can pull this like that. And this like that, yeah, why not? I think this is nice, although it's a bit exaggerated for the style, but this is a shape key that, as I mentioned, its purpose is not the final, to be a final shape, but a helper shape key. Let's call like that, because this rig, there's a combination of armature, deform, and shape key, so it's the most complicated solution, right? It's also the one which allows a lot of interesting things, but it can be, as you can see, very complicated to handle. And but the results can be pretty interesting. So let's see here what we've got. Let's use some shading. Yeah, the shading is not helping. At least not on that. Maybe I need some lighting. Yeah, yeah, it's just too dark. Maybe it's just this thing that's... No, the shading is horrible that I get for the lips. It's not... Looks flat, right? Completely flat. We get a better result just using the... this for now. So here we got... No, or actually I could get some... No, this is not super helpful. Yeah, never mind. So I don't know. Let's leave it like that, and let's see what we can get now with some expressions here, folks. So let's see. Reset. So the sad, the happy, and the sad. So you see they are not symmetric. That's okay. Let's see what we can achieve with the combination with the some, well, this is effect only on the control dot, no, control alt must not be inside the menu. Yes. Alright, so let's see what we can do here. I'm using the mirror. Yeah, so you can get this kind of expression, so that's cool. And we can do better, can do more, let's see, less of this. We can try to have some more mouth bones here. Yeah, let's redo this. So yeah, so you see there is some limitation about... Oh no, it's just this bone is just too far. Alright, so we can I do something like... Yes, we can. Well, this, yes, yes, we can. With some effort. If we manipulate these bones properly, let's see. Yeah, so you see there are some problems in the corner there, but we were able to go quite far, I think. So I don't know exactly how to prevent this. Maybe it's a problem with the okay, so it's not like we can use it so for multiple expressions. It helps, right? So it is already, it is working. So the kiss shape we cannot achieve with these bones right now, and even if we had twig lip bones, the rotation is crazy for the skinning algorithm, so it will just ruin everything. We cannot rely on the rotation of the skinning method for good organic deforms. We would need to have some corrective systems, and as I mentioned, this is not very good. Another thing one way that works with lips, which I'm not gonna do now here because this is a different no, what is this? I have some strange things happening in the mouth interior. It doesn't matter right now. Oh, this seems to be a problem indeed. It is shrink wrapping to the eye, right? Oh, I see. Okay, so I cannot prevent this. This is happening because now the ghost mesh of the face is combined with the ghost mesh of the upper face with the lower face. So maybe I can prevent this by maybe it's just starting too close to the eye, so I just need to oh, actually, my mistake. I must do this on the basis. I'm just gonna try to smooth these things. This part is super unimportant for the rig, for this rig, so really. Here I can smooth, so maybe I can keep pushing this down. It's too close to the eye, right? So this is very dangerous. So these ones also, let's G, do something like that. It's scale on the Z. Maybe we try to have a curvature here. Yes, why not? These two we can probably scale Z this GZ. Okay, maybe here just no, it's still happening, so I don't know how right now how to prevent this, but I have to just reseparate these objects, unfortunately, or find a way that yes, because the idea is that okay, I can change another thing that I can just change the target, because it's just the sides that usually have problems, right? Alright, let's see what's happening. What is this happening with a melt interior? If I turn this off, yeah, that happens. Alright, so and which amount? This mesh more to the side, right? It's not the mesh on the top, right? So that means that I can order to shrink wrap only the side meshes, but this is not very clean because I'm not sure which is the critical mesh that I need to solve. So we're going to get here, select this by material, Shift H. So I'm gonna, so this probably I have a vertex group there, which should be called what do you mean move vertex group? Shift Control X sample group. Oh, there it is. Sorry. So shrink wrap, melt interior, this one. Oh, okay, so this is all maximum, and this is a mistake, right? It doesn't need to be like that. So what I can do is just, maybe what I can do instead, let's get here a lesser value. Let's now just improve where we really want this shrink wrapping to be stronger, so the sides and probably the front, because so I don't get snapped into the, it stays behind the muzzle, right? So it's shielded. Maybe until here, yes. This one is far from the eye, so I think, yeah, maybe this one is safe too. Ah, this is fake mesh. Yeah, this is fake mesh. So I hate that Blender. What? That they changed something that we cannot even optimal display. You see, it's selectable, but super annoying. Ah, this helps. Okay, so you see where we have problems here. So maybe I can just take off waves from here. Not working. Let's use the new technique. It really wants to shrink wrap. Okay. So I'm gonna smooth these things. Ah, it's not good, right? So use the mix if that there's no mix. Yeah, these ones are sighting. I think they don't deform too much. So I'm gonna give this low value here. I'm just gonna okay, the problem is that this is still not to the sides. Needs to be yeah, so what happens is that it goes crazy because the inside outside of this mesh is like I should check, right? Okay, but let's consider this one set. I think it will let's look at the ice ghost there. Face ghost cannot be looked at. This there are still faces. Okay, so it seems to be all right here. That too. Let's not forget to get them back as wire. And this is not just inspection. This is old garbage, just a reference. For future assessment of character design, so this is just for me. Okay, so I'm still orbiting in some mad ways. Could it be that sometimes this helps, but it can can get sluggish when you lock into objects like here. So if you're traveling, then you can I'm still having problem with the orbit thing, despite yeah, see, I'm sluggish inside the Alright, let's get this mirror on. And now let's see what happens to the, if the intersection is, yeah, no, it's still brutal. So and here it's not trying to, yeah, so this is sad. I have to go into this and let's hide this mouth stuff. Eyes here, yeah. Alright, so my method is failed. Is just, this wouldn't be happening if I haven't joined the matches. Is the eye, right? Yeah, the eye is the, it could occur to other ghost mesh that is close here. So what I'm gonna do is retake these waves. Let's just okay, 15 minutes have gone, so that was dedicated to the shape keys, so we sort of, yeah, so this is very bad, right? I cannot get rid of this. I could use the method that I've used for the, I need helper bones for this stuff, which is super boring. And yeah, even if I do that, this won't be enough. So this is like very, very annoying. So I can just return to a maximum here, and that's this this way for now, until I think a better alternative. So let's just take note of that. It's like the find solution shrink wrap. What is this? The melt interior. Yeah, because there is a, well, now it is even willing to happen here. Alright, so this bone is not superposable like in the Universal Sonic Maverick. This is a bit better. This controls the chin, because see the character design. I need to rotate the chin prior to this, the mouth, and then we can do some, but there is still something, there are many problems that we can't exaggerate too much. So we can play more with this, so we don't and I think it makes sense, right, for the character design. But yeah, there are plenty of things that can break the rig, and I think this is sort of normal anyways. But it certainly could be much better, but the character design just make it very, very tough to control. But then we have the shape keys, we can make some, yeah, this is actually very nice, right? Alright, let's see what we can achieve next. So we have this We can do the keys, but I'm not super inspired now to do this, but it should be necessary. Yeah. I'm just thinking. Isn't there an armature way to do this that could be... I've done this with bendy bones once, but of course this is... you see, as soon as we start rotating for a kiss shape like here, there's a lot of volume loss. If we had the armature deform here, interesting. Let's use some local space. Now this for the armature normal, or just use okay, so there is a way to achieve so preserve volume could be useful for this case, but then it will affect the whole mesh, right? So there would be a way to to have the preserve volume only work for the lips. But because this rig is so complicated, yeah, then we could have warping artifacts if we rotate. Like, we won't rotate, right, but more than... Or will we rotate more than 180 or negative 180 degrees? No, there would be no reason to be doing this kind of this can be a problem for limbs such as the arms, the upper arm, sometimes the thigh, maybe the neck, maybe the spine. It really depends on the character, but the type of character, but I think, and the amount of contortionism we would like to have. But so this turns out that I think I could, yeah, see, the amount of volume loss is legendary volume loss artifacts. So we could try something a bit sneaky here. Experimentally, I have tried and it has never worked. So there would be a way to achieve the preserve volume locally only for a certain armature deform. The results can be very, very harsh. We can start with some like the tongue. Maybe I should avoid the tongue. So I'm going to hide it, right? Let's start creating our selection from this, moving out until we get the whole mouth rig set up. Something about here, the whole head, well, could be the whole head. This can, for consistency, yeah, that could be a problem in the joint. So let's try to prevent that. Yeah, so let's try to simplify and leave it here. We're gonna call this mini-me. No, this will be the mod lips preserve. Volume, yeah, whatever, armature modifier, armature preserve lips. And so this is not for the lips, right? This is for mouth. So what we do is that we assign these waves here in a crazy manner. We are going to, yeah, let's also to prevent some problems. We'll have a add, yeah, we'll have the forms may turn bad there. Yeah, so this area can be a tricky, but let's see what happens. So I'm gonna do this maximum waves, and then we are going to, maybe we can do something here and invert, use the face. Maybe we can smooth this out, like have this and just already in the chin line, jawline. So no, let's leave it like that. I'm going to create another extra armature modifier. Let's hide this one. This will use the mod armature preserve mouth, but on the inverse. So whatever is not it, and this will use only it. And this will be on preserve volume, and this will be not on preserve volume. So this affects the mouth mesh, this affects the body mesh. So that means that now we have we should have, yeah, we have warping artifacts here, but we have preserve volume on the lips, which is not perfect. We might still need, yeah, probably we still need supportive shape keys for that. But I see a big Shift X for mirror, right? I sort of see an advantage to this. It's not too hard to set up. And if we didn't have this, then the result of doing this would be this. So super bad, right? Like very different result and probably useless. And there is also something about, what about scaling? They fixed something about the scaling in some Blender version recently. Regarding the skinning in particular, there's a bug. I didn't even know, so I don't know, maybe because it's scaling and rotation, it involves both, maybe this will provide some solution here. Yeah, so the problem is the joints there, the interface region, which is not, it's unclear what kind of thing that would provoke to the that region. So we should be able to test this right away, but so far I'm not seeing any problems. Of course, we haven't moved anything. Control face, maybe there should be more bones here, no? Let's not leave this to be on the move this to the did I lost the shortcut for that? So I need to remake it for edit mode as well. So armature, move to this, something about the bone manager add-on. Need to get this new shortcut, Alt M. Okay, here are the bones of the face. We're all here. We are going to get the face here. Yes. Yeah, let's make some tests here and see what happens. Seems to be following. Doesn't seem to be anything breaking on that region. Let's see if I just make a swap in here. You see, nothing seems to change there, so that seems safe. It's a continuum. Alright, so there we have some problem, but this is because of the what is happening to the something broken about the bottom eye. Some problem with the automation maybe. I still have these bones here to control the they weren't moved in the end, so let's pick them. No. Color. Yes, let's bring this to Alt M to eyelids. They are part of the bendy bone splines. These are really want to bend. These are tweak bones, but they are actually control bones actually, but they are handles. Okay, let's see here. These should be bones to be automated here. They are automated from here. So let's check here. Yes, so I don't see any problem here. So it's really... What about the rotations? What if you have some rotations? Yeah, with rotations we see some issues, but not issues, we see some difference, but it's very, very subtle in this region. So it doesn't seem to be detrimental in any form that I can verify. So this technique seems to work. I've tried something like that some months ago, maybe last year, and I wasn't successful. So I'm not sure if this is something that was fixed or it's that I wasn't doing it correctly. But we have some problem here with some posings. You have to repose these bones. See. The clips. So maybe I don't do a highlight for that because it's a bit experimental. I know other riggers have tried and not been successful, as I wasn't, but in this case it seems to have worked. Why is happening that? I don't know why this is yeah, so we should just be careful about the exaggerated rotations. We can of course lock them, but this is too much work, right? And of course these bones can be rotated by others, the controllers, so this can even go, it will not be enough anyways to so are these bones using, no, they are not using this, but maybe they are a bit crazy because of this shrink wrapping here. Yeah, so this is not good. What's happening? It's like all the mesh is going crazy. Let's turn this off and see. This is yeah, definitely this is not. Oh yeah, because this was the warping artifact. Yeah, this is a warping artifact. The bone is already rotating from some passive motion. See, it's rotating, and by rotating it's already rotating the lips. So it already have received some amount of rotation that is critical. Not here, but so it doesn't even need to reach the other. Yeah, it needs just to reach a little less. So this is not its original pose. It's already rotated, and so it doesn't need to reach this position on the flipped. Yeah, you see, right before it already creates the warping artifact. So it's not something about its shrink wrap, it's the crazy thing there. So to prevent that, I would have to, this could cause some problems here, but I need to change the way it responds. Yeah, the problem is that it responds to parenting, and these bones, they are actually rotating following the curvature. Yeah, they are aligned, although these are not. So these quick clips, they shouldn't be aligned, otherwise I cannot pose them like this. But what I could do is create some mechanism bones that will have this, well, this make the bone rotate anyway, but maybe it's a good thing, because now these are not, yeah. So can I snap this and at the same time, well, this is not working, right, for some reason. So if I do this and this, I'm getting some weird motion, but yeah, so it's snapping strangely. It's doing some crazy motion. Yeah, okay, I got it. There's this snapping warping here. Yeah, this is the problem with this system. So so apparently what I really would need to do is that what I was mentioning. I have to get a mechanism bone to have the proper orientation. No, hold on. The mesh will still be following. The bone is irrelevant. It's the mesh that matters. The mesh was rotated already. Yeah, so it's not the rotation of the bones, even though it can look like... Okay, I haven't messed up anything here. So there's nothing to do here, folks. It's not about the... Even if I can prevent the bone to have this already rotation, the fact is that the mesh itself is rotating, and so eventually there is a limit to this rotation. Usually we don't want that, we want this one. So yeah, so all this just to get some something done for this with the preserve volume. So I think it's not a terrible idea, but then we have the possibility of creating warping artifacts in. I think I have to make a cleanup here, folks. Yeah, it's the same that were happening before. I'm not sure this I'm doing here with armature deform will be creating any extra, right? So one has, they use the same vertex group, but they are inverted. It's a vertex group that separates the layer. So the first is the main for the whole body. This one is just for the, so you can have preserve volume on the lips. So so we can still, and we can still shape the anatomic lip. So I think this is what I'm going to do now, folks. I'm gonna use this bone here. We're going to get here in this mode. We're gonna hide these features and we're gonna focus on this mesh region. We can probably hide this. And the kiss, there is no kiss shape yet, and I don't know how. Maybe some scale thing. Yeah, scale seems good. So I'm gonna get here. Let's get a new one. Kiss, and that will be the add driver, maybe to the, yeah, we can go here. We go on the scale. Scale sometimes is annoying, right? So scale on the, let's see, scale X, scale Z, what seems to be scale Y, no, scale Z, okay, seems to be more, so copy as new driver, then we add a paste driver. I don't know very well this method. This is not the bone, so this confused me. Then we need a scripted expression. Then where's the, okay, there's the variable. And then scale times, yeah, just scale, and we'll see the scale -1. Alright, that does the trick, but then this will create, okay, it doesn't add negative, that's fine. So here, gonna get scale to scale Z2, this maximize, right? We're gonna start editing this one, lock this, make sure the anatomic lip sits as maximum, and let's do it. So this is like the most difficult. Maybe here I could use the sculpt mode. Maybe it's not the most difficult, it's just different. And yeah, we can also do this by reducing some of the corners there. It has something to do with the zipper lip, right? It's not exactly the same thing, but it's sort of relates to the zipper lip. It's like no, it's not. It's not. It's sticky lips. Sticky lips. So the idea is just this: is rotate. The lips just got reverted. What is inside goes outside. And yeah, maybe in sculpt mode, I don't know how to make this easier. But this shape, as because I have the other setup now with the dual quaternion skinning preserve volume, we don't need to make this super exaggerated. Although the idea is so that it becomes exaggerated, so we can play more. We have more possibilities in principle. Yeah, so here I'm really struggling with the inner faces of the lips. This can happen in sculpt mode, which is very annoying. So make sure not using proportional editing. I'm moving this to the sides to prevent any. Yeah, so okay, let's work here. So the idea will be, now let's turn this on, proportional editing, and let's do this from here. I have way more experience with modeling. So I'm gonna try to bring this very close together. So trying to make them match while they are being pushed forward. And the rest is these ones, right? So we can play now with, so this could be, now it's just this rotational thing, which is unfortunately horrible rotations on for the skinning algorithm. So we need to do this by doing this as shape keys. Although shape keys are linear, they can easily address these rotations. They don't care, right? They don't need to suffer from the waves, right? They have the matrices. They bypass any. They don't have any trouble with rotation. You can rotate freely. Maybe not any infinite rotations, right? Like just rotate what would make the mesh of the from skinning go crazy and generate horrid artifacts which have names, right? All those artifacts, they have names. And so here probably we want to smooth this out. We can probably push this forward, we can create some area here that is really scale down this, so we can exaggerate a little this shape here. Also GG, maybe I've exaggerated. And here you have a problem again, the ellipse corners. That is really matter. There should be a mesh topology that can make this better. Or I just have too much geometry because I need those shapes. And here I don't know what I've done. That's just smooth. No, smooth doesn't save the mesh, right? Still gets destroyed. Looks like this vertex is causing some issues. Yeah, so I'm sure there would be better ways to do this. My workflow is just poor, but that is the shape key thing, right? I'm not yet very experienced at it, so probably with more experience, with more techniques, more understanding, and even of the mesh, how to handle these complicated meshes here, and making better geometry, better mesh topology. This mesh topology is good, I mean, but it probably can be improved even more in some specific ways that will help my character design and also help the progress shaping those things. So there's always, if I simplify it in certain ways, then it will probably be bad somewhere. So it's very complicated, and it's very hard to. No one talks about those things. Maybe teachers in professional schools, but it's like in tutorials, it's very hard to find any. So we end up sort of clueless. There's sort of unspoken knowns. At least that's what I've seen. So that's why I found this universal sonic maltrick, for example, very interesting, because even though it might not explain in the documentation the principles of everything, I've learned the principle by testing, right? Trying to reproduce and then finally understanding, oh, this is about this. And you see, even though I'm still using these techniques with some of my specifics changes, right, for my character design, so added a few more loops. Those loops probably, edge loops, are probably creating me a few more problems than if I kept as the universal sonic maltrick. But then if I kept exactly like that, I would never be able to shape this. I need exactly at least some of this. And then there's the regularity question. That means that problem that means that need to have the geometry regular, and if you just have a mesh geometry that is for the universal sonic maltrick that is not regular, like squared stuff, it probably can already ruin many of the including the corner. So I haven't tested thoroughly enough, but I suspect we don't need to do exactly. We can achieve, if there is a more, to be more specific, folks. Here's the thing. I think we can have regular geometry just as the inverse sonic melt rig, but with some variations in the mesh topology, that especially regarding the lips corner and the some difference between the top lip and the bottom lip. So maybe the top lip doesn't require the same amount of edge loops than the bottom lip, and you get the idea. So there's some unmatching differentiation between the top and bottom lip, but that will still regulate with the inverse sonic melt rig principles. That will still do good on the deforms. So it would not be as regular mesh, but it will be still regular mesh for the skinning method to do its job without too much destruction. Alright, so this kiss shapes is not good enough for a shape key, in my opinion. This is garbage. I need to do much more because this should be an exaggerated pose because it's the hardest one to achieve. I already have with armature deform, I already achieved okay armature deform. So you see, it's even likely that the armature deform result is currently better than the shape key itself. So this is why I need to push this a little more. And I feel like I'm lacking some geometry here to complete the task. But it's just an illusion. I just need to figure out how to get this thing better. And I'm having problem with yeah, it's like I need to turn around even more this mesh here. So let's GG, move it. Yeah, it's like the bottom lip really, the inner lips really they start to get here, right? So the inner walls, they start to rotate also towards so they start to become the floor, right, and the ceiling. So this I can move more like that, and maybe this will be better. And same for this. So we get something like this. And here we can exaggerate. Yeah, it's much better if we they start to rotate in the wrap around. I don't know how to say it. Of course, it's harder to do this here, right? And here we can approximate this. And here too, let's bring this . Try to bring this like closer here and closer to this. So like sticky lips, right? Here probably can... Yeah, here this faces me to scale down, Alt S maybe, not sure, one by one maybe. It's really resilient for scaling. Why it doesn't... Yeah. Ah, yeah, so very annoying thing. Scale yourself. No, it's resilient to even scale itself. It doesn't get it. Very strange. No, I think it didn't work. Let's do it again. Snap to geometry. Yes. Why? It seems to be... Ah, it is snapping not to the original geometry. It doesn't recognize the shape key. Alright, so there's one problem of those procedural modifiers, morphs. That's all. We lose the reference points. Blender doesn't compute them for the operation, for the tools correctly as it should, in my opinion, right? So it just ignores. It doesn't make a cache for... It would be better, right? Because I want that position, I want that orientation, so this orientation, why are you not helping? So I think it's some, because this is already very complicated if you start to think about it. So then I think no wonder that the developers, they just didn't figure out all the potential trouble that certain choices would make. Not just because that was too hard to develop. No, it's just they didn't figure out the potential, all the potential consequence of certain uses of the technique or certain needs of the making process in certain many cases, because there are many situations. We can just, the artists them create just too much as they explore the tools and start to create the stuff. They just create too much new things that were never thought before, and so it's completely normal that not everything could be predicted by developing the tools. So it's just like that, right? Then there is bugs also. There are stuff that are just very found to be very inconsistent solution. So it's just very hard for everyone. And if you have feedback from, or if there's artists involved in the process of creating the tool, okay, that's great. But then if it is just one artist, of course that artist, same thing, won't be able to know, to provide all the, will never be possible to provide all the possible real problems that will end up happening on certain choice of creation. So tools usually needs to be polished and repolished. This is not development. This is like, it's not pure development stuff. No, let's say the development is just, I'm exaggerating, right? The programming part of development is more about, yeah, you get the how you make the software do that like this. But then there's the conceiving development, and this is much more complex. This is the designing thing, conceiving the tool, conceiving in relation to what is plausible or not in the current state of the programming tools available on the software. Anyways, so I think we are getting somewhere here. I'm just maybe I'm just doing some things that I'm not even sure they are good or bad, just trying to make things a little more regular here in general. But I think overall the kiss shape here, let's see, it doesn't look very kissy, right? It's just, well, maybe it's the shading that is horrible. Yeah, I'm having a bit trouble. So it is doing the reverse thing. So this is actually, let's see, maybe if we see this in motion we'll have a better idea. But it's not the kiss shape like the, yeah, no, this is not doing the, strangely when it scales down it goes to another. So okay, yeah, so this doesn't seem to be good enough, right? In terms of kiss shape, it's just like, seems to be just adding some volume to the lips, and this is not good. This can help. Well, it is rotating the lips, but this is not exactly what is needed. Yeah, so the lips needs to be closer together, and also there need to be this oh, how does that happen? I didn't see. So there's some accidental puff cheek here on this. Hope I didn't. Okay, scale 2. Okay, it's just this one. Alright, let's go here and address this. No, this is, yes, I need to sort of, okay, let's, so I'm gonna use proportional editing here. Let's try to, I'm gonna pull this. I want to do the sticky lips idea. So basically, it's like I'm gonna really pull this to, and I'm gonna try to align this. The sticky lips idea is just that the lips start to glue from the corners, the lips corners. So I need to give that sort of, I think I need to give that sort of effect. So maybe I can just, I cannot match those positions here. Maybe not even snapping will work here. Let's try. No, it doesn't recognize this. It recognizes invisible vertices. Yeah, so this is a big limitation indeed. critical hindering for making certain precise work on, yeah, for a certain workflow. So now, anyways, we can achieve this, just need a little more. Okay, so let's try to bring this together. All right, and here we're gonna present this. This is too. Yeah, we're gonna try to shape exaggerate a little the anatomy of the leaf. So even though it's cartoony, we can play with that. So the style, even though it's my style cartoony, I think that in 3D can be nice. So I think we can just, it is perfectly feasible and should not be a bad, should have hold good results in the end, I think. So let's try to reduce this. This is too sharp, right? It needs to go inwards by now. And so here we also will try to, yeah, so here's the idea of the sticky lips. We're gonna try to force this to, yeah, there's a bit chaotic motion. We can try to smooth this again. This is very important. Let's try to smooth this and this. I think now this is more interesting, right? As a shape key for this. Now I think this is more radical, right? We get, and here this face, yeah, I need to, let's bring this inward like that. This one too, so they are sort of, they were lost. We need to bring this like here, so they are, we'll try to make them stick here in this part. So you see how complicated this is with this approach I'm doing, right? But it's feasible, it's just very, so this is why I was a bit suspecting that doing this today wouldn't be a good idea. But yeah, we are succeeding even without a great reference here. Just have my visual reference here and a mental reference of what I want, so it seems to be working. But certainly if I had a better, if I was a bit more prepared here, could have saved, could have maybe, yeah, could have achieved better results maybe, because I don't think it's good yet. But I think this can be, let's say scale, here is the scale, right? So let's see. Yeah, it's not very good, right? Poor shape on the side. I really would need some reference, so maybe I will just fix some stuff here that I spotted that I'm not liking. Maybe this needs to be more like here, and this we bring more like here. The profile is super important here to realize if it is working or not. So maybe it's not so totally a question of having this matching at all costs, as I was thinking is more something related to the profile. And more rotation, yeah, so of course, with more geometry, I think it's much simpler to achieve the good shapes. Okay, let's try this then. Ah, this is better. Okay. So of course we won't be able to spot if the rest of the face. Yeah, this is much better now. I don't know why this is lagging so much. Anyways, we got here. I want to change some of the drivers scale Z. When I scale it on all the Z, it seems to yeah, there are some interactions which are, let's see, let's try to combine some happy with keys. This will need deltas, right? So that will be more nightmarish work, right? If we wanted, right? So it's not combining well. Let's see what we can do with this and some deformed bones to start with, because remember, I just forgot that I was able to achieve some interesting results with the bones, right, of the, because of the technique of the, yeah, so we already, if I have the kiss shape, I can even exaggerate this, which will be very bad because of lack of geometry in the melt interior, right? So, but we can, yes, we can do, maybe I can just make another, yeah, so despite all my efforts, the anatomic shape, this kiss shape was not sufficient for a cool expression. This maybe it's just a question of, yeah, so there is many problems, right? So this is why with the shape keys we are a little blinded. So this is something that I don't like very much about shape keys, besides the fact it is linear motion unless we do something special. Yeah, and here totally we'll need some, if we do the scale Z, no, I thought, yeah, scale Z here. If we do this and we do the shrink, we don't get a good result, right? So delta here is failing critically. But I think I can sort of let's say that I have this. So we can, thanks to the how do you call it? Thanks to the preserve volume, the madness that we've done, we can achieve some extra rotations from this. So you see, we can make the unlikely to happen even on this very shrink melt. So but it's very glitchy right now, so the ideal thing would be to combine. Yeah, I'll have to retake. I want first to, yeah, I would like to retake this case shape. I want to have something more appealing, more interesting, something that would look a bit more like real in the cartoonist style. So this is not something that maybe it's just I need a better reference, right, folks? So here I can just adjust these driver things. So the bone itself, it has got some limit, yeah, but the limit is like the image rotation. Yeah, so it's just swapping the data here. So let's see what we can do for this driver. So I want so the happy instead will be going up, so it will be the, alright, so I need to remember those values. Okay, so let's start with so the tall is positive Z location. Okay, so happy, edit driver, positive times 5. Oh yeah, it says in rotation, so times 4, and Z location and local space, that's it. So this should activate 2 drivers at the same time, which is not what I intend. So the tall, now the tall would be, I don't know. So anyways, we have made this, let's make the SED. So it will be negative times 4 and Z location. Yes, so this is better, right, folks? Then this one, okay, so then this is shrink and this is wide. All right, this is, I think this is correct. But then now we need so this is puff cheeks, but no, this is puff cheeks. Maybe we do some scale X, yeah, scale X to get it a bit far from our edit. Puff cheeks is scale X, local space. This will be, not this will be actually the, yeah, var -1. So this is annoying because I did a different method. Yeah, this is not working. Well, it is working actually, but let's use the, maybe this method is better, right? I don't like to, it's harder to read. Yeah, but maybe it's easier to set the value. Yeah, maybe it's the same garbage. So let's get the, okay, so the wide and purse are set. So I'm gonna get, let's change the order here. happy. Let's even the puffy cheeks, let's build the last one, or before, after the deltas even. So we got sad, this purse, let's simplify this name here. Then we got purse and wide, and then we need the, okay, so 4 already were done. Then we have the rotate like this, we get the round, rounded, these are doing nothing. Rotate Y doesn't rotate. Rotate X, rotate Z doesn't rotate. Rotate. Okay, we have the rotate X free. We want to combine this with another rotation, right? So the rotate X. So we want the rotate X for positive or negative. Positive. So tall will be just a positive of the rotation x-axis rotation, quaternion, and yeah, so we got this, rotate Y, and then I should lock some rotations too, so happy, sad, then purse and wide. Tall and hold on, round, which is not doing a great job actually. I think it can be improved, and tall, yeah, tall and wide. Maybe the scale, oh, I can change the scale, right? Scale X, scale Z, good idea. Let's do the, okay, makes more sense. So edit, scale X, var -1, tall, oh no, the scale Y was compromised. Okay, this was stupid. Oh, anyways, yeah, now just the scale Z. I want the scale Z, so okay, scale X. No, this is tall. Scale Z, what I'm doing. Yes, alright. Then We can also have rounded. It's still the scale Z, scale X is the puff cheeks. I'm not sure I want that, but then what's remained? There's this, the round, and I'm missing something. The keys will be, I got it, so it will be the rotate, makes more sense. So let's cancel those things, so it will just be a transform property. Okay, I don't know what happened here, folks. Let's continue. And oh, yo, welcome. Sorry, I haven't seen the chat still. Well, how do you, Denzel Mob? Welcome back. How's it going? It's, yeah, fine. We're getting trouble. We made the shape keys and figured out the many deltas that we have to solve, but we're getting progress. Got the keys shape and many other things fixed. We got some crazy setup here. Maybe you followed or not. Two armature modifiers with some sort of inverted vertex group here for this is very experimental, but it worked. Basically this shape key here, this vertex group, it's for this armature modifier, which doesn't have preserved volume. Actually, no, sorry, this is the vertex group, and this is the armature modifier that is using only this vertex group but not the rest of the body. And so this preserved volume is a cheesy trick that not exportable. Many CG software won't be able to use dual quaternion skinning. So with this we can have preserved volume only on the lips here, actually. Yeah, I expanded to the rest of the face for other reasons, but I just wanted it for the lips, and it seems to be working. There's the warping artifact if we rotate too much, but hold on, here we can see better. So we can have, if we don't have preserved volume, then these big rotations here that I'm doing on these bones, they will cause massive volume loss artifacts, which is, we can easily see by just turning preserved volume off. So it's like they become very thin because there's the volume loss artifact. But with this preserved volume, that creates other artifacts, some bulging artifacts sometimes on the rotations, but worse than that, it creates the warping artifact, which happens if you rotate more than positive or negative 180 degree the mesh, not the bone, but the mesh. So, and that this happened, it just loops around. But we won't do this, right? So this is already too much rotation. So we would like to have more, but then it reaches a threshold that it dies off. But we can have, so by doing merging of two armature modifiers, we can on different, so they don't overlap. One is taking care of just one part of the mesh and the other. And for some reason in this time I'm not having some sort of crazy, like the interface between the two vertex group and the inverted, the same but inverted, is not causing any issue. I'm trying to set up some corrective bones for my knee. I want them to scale out and in as the knee bends. What constraint do you advise? Well, there's some guy in Blender artist forum that came up with a setup many years ago. I never tried totally, but it uses some sort of scaling thing, but I'm not sure if I can find it. Scale, no, it's joint, no, cast, no, no, it's not that, it's scale bone, no, it's not that too. Scale, let's take a look. So there's a setup that I think he was using some helper bones that had the scale bone constraint, and by having that we can automate the scaling for certain bones, which can be helpful. So basically you need to drive the setting of the influence, right, of the scaling bone, for example, because yeah, you cannot control the scaling of the bone by, well, if the bone stretches, maybe it means a scaling. Might be equivalent, but I'm not totally convinced of that. I think it does, yeah. So scaling the bone means stretching the bone. So if you have a stretch to bone constraint, you can probably mimic a scaling of the bone on one, but it's always the stretch to always follow the y-axis of the bone. It always is the stretching of the scaling of the bone along its y-axis, but usually the bone will scale in all directions together, but more in the y-axis. But we can change these lateral scalings, and so, but this bone constraint is a bit complicated to use, so it's bad for maintaining, because it creates, if you rescale your rigged model, but it's very usable. I have many of them here, so I don't care. I have a special group for the bones. So here, for example, in the case of the knee, so you want to scale the knee, I'm not sure. Yes, okay, so scale the mesh, right? So let's get the armature and some so you can have, for example, here I have a bendy bone spline with the handles, and you can order, actually, yes, you can order the scale with a transformation bone constraint. So for example, I can scale this bone. I'm just using this as an example. So if I use there's limit scale too, which at the end, but maintain volume, I'm not sure exactly how it used, but it does what it's supposed to do, but it can be tricky. Then copy scale, stretch. So yeah, we can use actually a transformation bone constraint instead of a driver. So let's say that I will pick the rotation of this type bone. So the target local with parent, so because I'm not posing this bone directly, it will inherit the correct rotation. Then owner, it will use its own local space. Yeah. Then map from, I want the rotation of the thigh quaternions because my bones are using that, and here I'm not sure which is the rotation of the positive, I think. Yeah, positive. So if I get here, so transformation, bone constraint, then we pick the rotation of the, so let's say 120 degrees. So when the leg rotates up, that's a lot, but it can be more, right? So this, then just the max. I hope I got it right. Then for the map 2, let's use only the axis, but oh, this is actually the scale, map to scale. So now I can command the scale of the bone. For example, let's use its local scales of the X and Z both together. So scale will maintain all at one. Replace, yes, replace. This multiply, not sure. Never use the map to scale. So basically, yeah, let's use replace. This will probably merge some different scales in inputs from different sources together, while this will override. So here we want the max to match, so I want that when the leg rotates up, maybe you want the X and Z axis of the owner bone here to get maximized. So the max is the second and is a positive value. We'll get here, we'll triple just to make sure. Yeah, triple the X and Z. Well, even the here we can 16 and so what it does is that now let's see if this is working. It is working. We see that the bone it's scaling on demand. So that's, I never did that, so this is actually an interesting technique. Yeah, you had a good insight into this idea of using the scaling on helper bones. I think this is really valuable, and that guy that I'm trying to that I've certainly noted this somewhere, but how to find it? I think I have noted this somewhere here. It's a gigantic old topic with very good insights in organic rigging, and some of them I never totally tried, but I never forgot some of the ideas. Where's the references here? No, it's not here, it's probably here. Okay, let's say official rigging and genome, best way to export bones for, maybe it's this one. Yeah, so I think it's this one. 2019, well, it's not that old. It was older than when I started to learn rigging. So this guy here, Helmut, he got a lot of insights shared for rigging, and in this character, for example, you see it here, scaling helper bones. So pushed up, scaled along x-axis, shin bone pushed away from the thigh. So many things happening here. Shin displacement upwards. Yeah. So yeah, they move and they also scale. I think they got some, yeah, scale along the x-axis. So they scale along one another. So this can create some squash of the muscle. So it's like a very smart muscle. So yeah, I really like the idea, but because my characters, I was more confronting some sort of, and there are many other things, but essentially that was the big thing. And there's the discussion goes on, and there are many other. I think I haven't read it. Maybe if I read once, but now I have. Even I posted something there at some point, but it was much later. Everything was already. Okay, so this is the. Is this just post here the. And so this technique I haven't seen anywhere. Like it's only this guy that presented this thing, like about 5 years ago. So no one is talking about this. This is like very, very good rigging approach. Anyways, this won't solve the artifacts though. It can help, yeah, for the certain shapes, so it can start overlap the artifacts, but it might not be sufficient. On a simple joint like the knee and elbow, that might be very good, right? But an ankle joint, intermediate joint like the wrist and the ankle, maybe, yeah, probably, maybe that will not be the good case example for using this. And on complex joints, I call them like that, like the shoulders and the pelvis thigh joint or hip thigh joint, then that is way more complicated. So scaling won't save the day, but for the muscles it can help. Yeah, it can help for the for some certain region of the thigh or the buttocks or the gluteus. It can help for yeah, it can counter the volume loss. Probably it can be used, the scale system, to counter the volume loss of the linear blend skinning method, right? This one, right, without preserved volume. So this is linear blend skinning LBS method or algorithm. Then here this is dual quaternion skinning method or algorithm. So they're skinning method, yeah, so they are different skinning methods. So this will preserve the volume. This LBS skinning is horrible. It will allow to have a lot of loss artifacts, but it don't have the terrible warping artifact that this one has got. And this one is not versatile. Probably a lot of softwares outside of Blender won't use it, but for using in characters only inside Blender, this is holds good potential. So I'm still, maybe even for a character I have a plan to use this, because this to, for example, I have pointed it out or change rest position. I have an approach here that I have been exploring. Sometimes I've heard this is used for certain very specific rigs. Apparently some people use for porn. So basically we can change the rest position for better deforms, and on certain case the dual quaternion skinning goes as a combo into this, I found out, because the requirements of the rest position, a new rest position for the character, sometimes combine as well with the requirements of of the dual quaternion skinning, of trying to prevent the warping artifact when the rotations go a half circle on any one of the two directions. So here let's so hope that gets some insight. Yeah, this is the, so I never use this technique because my character design is just too simple, and before even I was taking care about muscles, which are nice. I would totally go to muscles and skin and stuff like that, but then turns out that I was fighting huge battle with the solving artifacts. So this is why I'm still here, not ever rigging muscles, because the muscles, like rigging muscles, is the funny part, right, of rigging, because if you rig muscles, that means you already don't care or don't mind about the artifacts as I do. So like this is muscle is the funny part, right? So you can do muscles with bendy bone splines that are automated. This some guy bring that in a Discord channel of that other rigger that does the advanced armature deform rigging. He doesn't use shape keys, the Philo Vivero guy. So he, on that group there was one that came with an ingenious idea for muscles. Doesn't solve artifacts but solves muscles, right? It is the same trick that I did here, driving or transformation don't constrain to scale. Imagine that you are using this, you are using bendy bone splines like I have here indeed actually, and you have them bending and shaping the profile of the muscles, the bendy bone, right? So you control the curve. By controlling the curve, the bendy bone curvature, you through automation setup, you control how the bone will be shaped according to the pose. It's a very good, because the bendy bones, they are very good to smooth out some shapes, but they are bendy bones, so they have limitations and they are hard to manage sometimes, and even for automation they are a bit tricky. So, and they don't solve they don't solve many of the critical artifacts, so it's still just for fancy muscles. But that's a good approach. I have they can still be used to correct, like I had an armpit correction setup that I've used some bendy bone, not the profile bendy bone spline as I call it. This is the concept of Pixar, profile curves and curve nets and profile curves. Basically you have a, not sure what kind of rig they use, but they have some sort of network of bones, like in Rigifiadon in the face rig, that you have this network of bones interconnected, and then they will deform the shape in sync, and they're sort of they shape the profile like as if they were like strokes, like this, you see, like they're really profiling, but not just the side profiles everywhere, like as this, and they will try to deform the mesh in a very precise way, but this is not sufficient to solve artifacts. Maybe Pixar, they have a special method, the special skinning method, that they won't care and solve that automatically, but that whole effort of network doesn't solve artifacts. So it's like, it's cool, it can be powerful, but it's, in the end, this is not what we want. It's not what I want, but it's good to, because then you can have this very precise deforms of the muscles, of the skin, of the flesh, as long as you don't have to solve the artifacts. That is, as long as the artifacts problems is already solved, because the rig, as I defined, are just can be subdivided in two things. In the armature thing, right? The one is the making the shapes in motion, and the other is correcting the shapes. So correcting the artifacts, actually, right? Because artifacts generated by the rotations usually, so they are just hellish, right? With those skinning, through those skinning methods, and then if you can solve them, the rest is piece of cake. Because then you can do anything, you can go straight to the shapes, the ideal shapes, and this does not necessarily have to. So it's a two domains of work that needs to be separated, because if you try to shape good shapes before or after, or no, before, if you try to worse than that, if you try to create good shapes and at the same time that you are trying to create the good shapes, you are trying to solve the artifacts, then this can cause big misery, because those are different problems, completely different problems. And so this is extremely confusing, and so this is why the priority, at least for me, is to prevent, resolve, reduce, minimize, counter the artifacts, right, with corrective methods, whichever they are, and then we can go for the shapes making, which is really the fun part, right, of rigging. Okay, I think that here, folks, so there's the kiss shape, and I was explaining this. So this kiss shape was not as I was completing so the last thing I'm gonna do here, complete this change of the I went to pose mode and Alt H. So the last thing I need to do is to just complete this stuff. So this seems to be, this is right. Happy and sad, so this is more intuitive. Then we have scale Z for this, alright. Then I have scale X for puffy cheeks, okay, this I have my decision. And then there is this rotate Y for this O shape, which is not super good, maybe I have to rotate. And then we have the rotate on the X for something that, the kiss shape, so target the bone here, so is the, let's get just a copy driver and paste driver, edit driver, just change the X rotation. Rotation is that, yes, I think it's that quaternion, that seems fine. Rotation is that. Let's try now. Alright, we have this, and we have rotate X. It's not too bad, right? But it can be improved, right? I need to better reference. The top lip I think is working. It's just the bottom lip that it's a little bad. So let's say rotate. What is the? I think the rotation forward would make more sense. Let's just change that, so invert this. and for some reason it is late. I think it's because of very strange, maybe it's something about the subdivision surface modifier. So let's go back here, lock this, and let's check. Yeah, totally, the subdivision was going crazy. So you see with low poly this might seem a little more better, but there's too much volume there. Alright folks, so yeah, so you completed, even though we need retake. So then the only things that remained was the, also updated here, the deltas, right? So I can do this, let's copy here and more deltas. Yeah, probably more deltas. Puffy chicks retake. Yeah, so maybe we should start with the puffy chicks retakes. And today is 21, yeah, 22 already, but okay, and we did this, and now we haven't found the solution, so we're gonna push down these things. So I think folks, maybe these deltas are so complicated, annoying to make. There are many, the more shape keys I make individual, the more of these deltas are required. So I think that what I need to do is, I have enough shape, I have all the main shapes, so I don't need to combine the shape keys in order to achieve. So I think what I'm going to do, I need to find this solution here. So this I'll bring here, retake eyes, and yeah, I'm gonna mark all this as some sort of, yeah, take this off. How can I sign all that? Yeah, just here will be better. Yeah, sign all that this is not for, or I can just give a something more. Is there some emoji that will, I don't want a house thing that's offline, so something house emoji. Okay, it can be that one, very hard to see, but okay, we gonna put it, yeah, all the way here. So I need to complete at least all this at home, so offline. So I'll bring better stuff for you guys, and here find solution for shrink wrap melt modifier. Yes, this is fundamental, so I'll start out with that, and if I don't solve it at home too, it will be better. Then I go next time, tomorrow, I'll go straight to start, or we'll go, if possible, to this, gonna make some cartoony expressions finally, and then we can say that I completed the presentation of the melt rigging of this character Aisha in this case. Also, let's note here, solve dependency cycles. There's some crazy things here and there. Oh yeah, this lips problem might be just some dependency cycle that is somewhere that I need to investigate. So same thing here, and let's bring this down. yeah, so sorry folks, this is not interesting, but it's management. Maybe this gives some idea how complicated rigging can be, so on certain projects. And so it's good to have some sort of listing of stuff. So after the melt rigging, we go back to some cheesy details of the body rig that I'm just retaking some wave paints, maybe some things on the mesh of the hand here and there, something that I don't intend to take too long. And then cloth rigging, that will be a big topic, but not so big because they are already rigged, they just need some retakes. Here I will be using some advanced tricks for the cloths, or like cloth bones, and there are some cloths that might require some physics, so this one might be an interesting topic to explore a bit further. So a lot of things will be derived from here, but then when I reach here and complete the cloths, I cannot take forever doing the perfect cloth. It's just cloth, right? Just something that works, right? It's not a skirt here, so it's this puffy hakama, puffy pants, but that's trousers, but it's not, right? That's it. Should not all the clothes, I don't see anything here too complicated. And yeah, the biggest complication will be this one, which I'll have to change the texture because it has these large sleeves, and yeah, that probably some bone hanging cloth, right? So this can take this can be more complicated. I think gravity with physics might be sufficient here. So otherwise, this is the this will be the biggest issue, and I think I have the solution. And yeah, then the big topic of the pelvis rigging, which I'm gonna go on a version 3.0 here, literally. The third time I'm doing a big approach to this, and this time I'll try something new, but with the schooling of the other things that I had before. And I think that will be a very, very elegant, functional, great pelvis rigging I'll have here. Maybe it will not do a totally exaggerated post contortionist or close to it, but it will do what I need for the character, and that it will be big stuff already. So I intend to make something big out of content, educational content, thanks to that. So this will be the next biggest topic after the cloth. So, and if I solve this, then the cloth is over, right? Because the expression of the mouth already and the face already have most everything. So that's it, folks. Sorry about the excessive chat in the end, but just telling you my plans for the future, maybe better for someone. Take care and happy blending. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow or any other weekday. On the weekends, I'm not possibly not being online, but I'll try bring something different, but cannot confirm. Take care, happy blending, enjoy, and that's it, folks. See you around.